We're taking you to Portland, Oregon now. The man accused of killing two Good Samaritans defending Muslim women on that train in Portland is facing a judge for his arraignment, earlier screaming about free speech. Let's listen in.
June 7th at 9:30 back here in JC3, and the case is especially assigned to Judge Albright.
Thank you. And counsel, need you to sign right here. Copies.
Death to the enemies of America. Leave this country if you hate our freedom. Death to Antifa.
No, that's fine. You can just give it to her.
You call it terrorism, I call it patriotism. You hear me? Die.
And that was Jeremy Joseph Christian, who you were seeing in there. This is the man that was accused of killing two men, aggravated murder and another. This was on a Portland train. Two young women who he was yelling at the time, and these men came to their defense. In total, 9 charges, 2 of them misdemeanors, the rest all felony charges against him, including 2 aggravated murder charges and an attempt to commit a Class A felony assault in the first degree as well, and also the unlawful use of a weapon. And when Christian was brought in there on that arraignment, he was shouting about free speech. You heard some of it at the end there as well, and free speech before he faced those charges in front of a Portland judge.
And he will appear back June 7th before that judge.
That's right.
We're going to continue to monitor the story. Again, it was 2 men who really stood up for this woman. Anti-Muslim speech is what we were told, and lost their lives in the process.
Right. 2 young women on a train. When he came in, there had been some video seen of him the day before, also with some rants as well, but was shouting the Muslim slurs, as you mentioned. People wonder in a time like that what they would do. We saw 3 men try to come to their aid, 2 of them losing their lives, sadly, in trying to defend these women and their right to not have to face hate speech. At the time.
Just to recap again, we are seeing for the first time Jeremy Christian, the suspect involved in what is now the murder of 2 bystanders, good Samaritans there who were killed on board a train there. We're going to continue to monitor this story.
We're looking right now, actually, this is the victim who was released from the hospital. So this is a man that was stabbed but not killed, and his life was spared. Watching, obviously, an emotional day for all of those involved. So many people affected by this.
And we saw his rant as well, Dana, hearing him talk about justice and clearly going off talking about free speech in the process. This is, again, the first time we've seen him appear before a judge. He'll be back on June 7th.
Free speech or die, Portland. You got no safe place. This is America. Get out if you don't like free speech.
95439 from the Metropolitan Public Defender. With me is Dean Smith, 92464-7, also from the Public Defender's Office. We're appointed by OPDS to represent this defendant. At this time, I'll tell you that we can acknowledge.
Jeremy Joseph Christian, the man that you're looking at right now, with 9 charges against him in his arraignment today. He'll be back in court next month, June 7th. 2 of those charges, aggravated murder, assault in the first degree. The person who survived, Micah Fletcher, was the survivor of this knife attack. And in speaking out through a statement, honored the 2 who died, offered support to Muslims in the city. Rena, you mentioned it was Christian who had been shouting some Muslim slurs. And what Fletcher had to say, he said, I want the Muslim community to know they have a home here in Portland and are loved. I want to honor the families who lost their brave fathers, sons, and brothers. And I want the media and the country to honor those families. I want to send my condolences and honor those families. Fletcher, just 21 years old.
Micah Fletcher there in the courtroom, as we're seeing for the first time. Jeremy Christian's arraignment.
Yeah, and the stabbing that took place was on a light rail train from Portland State University, was where Fletcher was coming from. He was slashed in the throat, but did survive, and there were two men who lost their lives as the 35-year-old Christian, who's from the Portland area, it broke out in slurs against two women on the train, and at the time, you can only guess that people there didn't know what else might happen and what might come of it, so three men did try to stop that and prevent something worse from happening, and unfortunately two of them lost their lives in that.
We're going to continue to monitor this story. We'll have much more on the other side of the break. You're streaming CBSN.